Is this your king? Sorry.
I'm pulling a DD. I'm out.
That was bad. They might as well fight in the parking lot. You know, let's just really just
Hey, we gotta fight now. Everybody we did.
I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you.
Yeah, it's Molly's vacation week, so we gotta drink up a little bit. Like I'm about to get stressed out. All right, let's talk about some friends who need support.
Oh yeah, they need friends. Last week on Insecure, what happened? This was the day after.
Lisa wakes up. Everybody's getting voicemails. She's getting voicemails from all her, from Nate or Nathan. They call him Nathan. From Nathan. From her, from Kelly, and everybody's like, okay, blah 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 blah. And Kelly's like, y'all need to talk, like blah blah. Issa's like, I'm always reaching out. She's even talking to her mirror self, like, I'm always reaching out, which I'm sitting here like,
I don't remember.
But then later somebody was like, she was like, I'm always the one apologizing. And Kelly was like, you always the one wrong. Or who did her mirror self say that? I don't know. Somebody said that.
Mirror didn't admit that. Mirror was saying that. Mirror was like, I did a lot.
Mirror was like, yeah, you do. We don't owe her nothing. But it was Sunday. So she was like, I'm going to do self-care Sunday by myself.
And it was anything but. It was awful.
She went to get wine and tried to help that woman. I forgot about this. Oh, this episode was hilarious. I forgot how funny this episode was. It was a pregnant woman in line. She kept asking people.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Issa tries to help and declined. She can't pay.
And she was like, all right, at least give me my wine. The lady felt bad for her. She was like, oh.
Well, if this gave me anything, it was introspection or something.
Yeah. Is that there are people doing worse.
Yes.
How? This wine is a luxury. Those Pampers, essential. I can afford this. I can't afford you too, but that's not my responsibility.
Yeah. And then that also got us to asking, okay, so she didn't make any money from...
Yeah, because I was really confused that she didn't make any money from that. Her pockets are still bad. Her place still don't have no water.
Oh, yeah.
You heard my bird? He said, woo.
Yeah, Bird said she living bad. She goes and drives off and sees this old man running after the bus. She stops and gives him a ride, and it is comedy the whole way. He's like, ooh, it's hot in here. It's freezing. Find some middle ground. Oh. She takes
all right.
Then she drops him off at the house finally after he's like, just keep going. And
Daddy?
The dude at the door
just got a picture.
So then she goes to this, we know why she gets the wine now. She's at a sip and paint. And then she sits at a table with these three. So then she's like, I can share with y'all. I'm not gonna drink all this, because her wine was like a gallon. So then they're having conversation. It's all cute. They invite her to go get food afterwards. They go to this sushi restaurant that looks expensive. And then
so cute.
Issa starts, Kyla Pratt is one of the friends. So then she goes to the bathroom. Oh, she's telling them about the block party. Then they making it seem like she got money. She get all the connections. And she, like most people would, she's letting them think this. Like, I mean,
she's been waiting for people to see her like this, because she just did this big event and her friends kind of didn't do that for her because she got in a fight at her event.
So then she goes to the bathroom. My girl goes with her, and then boom, dine and dash.
Broke my heart. Dine and dash, and I'm not really trying to be your friend. That was the hurtful part.
So then she goes to her mom's house where she needs to be. And she has a breakdown, like a little after they hug. She needed it. And her mama kind of, I don't even remember what her mama said to her. But basically, like, her mom was just like, they
How
had
you not invite me?
Right. But they cleared some stuff up. Like, she always thought her mom, like, didn't know what she was doing and didn't really, like, believe in what she was doing. And they cleared up. And she was like, no, like, I'm proud of you for being a little bit of everything and just being good at everything you do. Like, I'm glad that. So that was nice. And then did she go home and have, like, an actual self-care Sunday a little bit? Cleaned.
She cleaned?
I think
Oh, she did clean up. She did clean up her apartment.
Which I related to so much. Like, with things that going right, we about to clean this place up. We got to get this.
She cleaned her refrigerator.
And then, oh yeah, she saw Kelly at some point during the day.
Did she see her or did they talk on the phone?
Or in person. Oh, she was on the phone. You're right.
And then Kelly was a baby.
Kelly was like, listen, y'all should talk because if me and
she related to her,
then our relationship might not have came back.
Exactly. I remember saying that I was really happy for them just like being transparent about that. Because we just kind of saw them get back good.
Right. So yeah, now it's Molly's episode.
It alluded to the fact that there was hope, but I don't really see that hope coming as quick as theirs did. Because girl just had a baby and she had mommy friends. But like, they almost got in a fight at Issa's event. This is Real Housewives now.
Yeah, so now we are ready. Yeah. For the episode. She saw her at the place.
I forgot about that.
Oh, you think she gonna see her?
Oh, should I have to saw my jibs?
No.
What do you expect her to do though?
I wouldn't have went in there either.
Because when you make a mistake, it makes me look dumb. And you don't get paid to make me look dumb. 100%. I'm sorry.
Why would you do a full 360?
No! Oh, wait. Hey! It's day 3.
It's only day 3.
Look, I'm like,
You look amazing. I love that dress. Thank you.
So,
Molly's doing really good. I'm really happy for her.
just
he just said
no
devil's
work and
advocate.
able to smoke Cubans by the pool.
Baby. Should I be concerned about
I'm really just with my man on my vacation.
Let me see.
I'm rooting for them. I love this man.
Are they running? No, I'm not doing that.
I just really want to stay in a resort right now with her man.
But how we?
Okay, we need to go on vacation.
Can't hang out with Nathan?
Of course.
She can.
You showed him who you are, and yet y'all still here.
Well, no, just
Like what?
like
That's not your business.
mental health stuff.
Oh, and he rubs feet too. I hate it here.
Okay, well, devil's advocate.
Oh,
What if it wasn't?
An Asian person say that one said it to me before and literally said the making my life harder part, and I'm just like, no.
like there's no demographic deals with more racial misogynist bullshit than we do. And so whenever anybody assumes they know, you're just like,
and even of color, they just think that it's just one level, and it'll just be like,
because they're like, well, if I can deal with it and do this, why can't you? And it's like, we're not dealing with the same level at all.
Why is it so hard to comprehend that there are levels to this shit?
Because then they would have to assume and admit that Black women, especially Black women who are doing better than them, are doing better than them despite dealing with way more than they are. And they want to be able to say like, oh, well, they had this opportunity in this. They don't want to have to deal with the fact that we deal with it. It just makes their life easier.
I'm just glad they brought it up that like even Asians don't understand, even other people of color don't understand it, because we like to pretend, I don't know, it just be like mad fake unity, and it's just like, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. I'm
it's
not.
Just like it's just not the same.
I refuse.
And then you look extra, like you're trying to be extra divisive, but it's not being divisive. It's just not the same.
And I just refuse to have these conversations anymore. Like, and I just say, you're wrong, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's it. You're wrong, and I will no longer discuss it. Like, because there's no point. Like, I'm not going to be able to convince you, and I shouldn't have to convince you of my humanity and the fact that I don't have to lie about this. Like, you think it brings me joy?
What do I stand to gain?
This brings me joy? The fact that people treat me like a dog, you think that brings me joy?
They're like, yes. Did you not have What part aren't you understanding? You like suffrage. It's a conversation that they would have needed to have anyway if they ever really wanted to move forward.
Oh, that's cute.
It's me, Molly.
Finally.
I know.
How are you? I've been thinking about you. You free to grab a drink soon?
Ooh. Who did he call?
I didn't see his placement.
Yeah, no. He deserved, like, maybe, here's the thing, maybe because, like, Molly is very good at biting her tongue, and so would Molly have reacted that way? Maybe not.
I would have. I would have. I would have. Or else I just would have been angry at myself. I really wanted her to go to bed, wake up feeling justified.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always gonna react. Like, I'm not gonna give you, this is not a conversation. You do not get to have a conversation with me about how I should feel. You have no say in this. Like, I remember when I was in DC and I was around a lot of like-minded people. And so, like, because we're both liberals and we're both Democrats does not mean
white liberals hit different.
And so there's this we went to like this lecture, and I was with my friends that I was interning with, and one of them like brought her friend to lunch after, and her friend was saying something like, she's like, yeah, I used to be really conservative. I grew up Republican, and it was like conversations that I had with people that led me to like seeing the other side. She goes, so I think it's really important for people to be open and to have those conversations. And I was just like, that's great. I was like, that's great that somebody did that, but it's none of our jobs. I was like, I personally am not doing that for nobody. I am exhausted.
I'm motherfucking tired. I used to be a debater when I was a child.
Same. When I did not care about my personal mental health and capacity, when I did not know what it was doing to me, literally, I used to do that. But now, the only thing that matters is that I know where I stand and I know where y'all stand, and I leave y'all where y'all at. That is it. Like, I'm supposed to.
I've never left a debate because I used to really like to debate. I've never left a debate with a changed mind. I've just left tired, and I didn't change their mind. I thought it because I took debate, so I thought about it as a debate. It was just points to me. Mm-hmm. So I was not trying to convince anybody of anything. I was trying to win, and I did win often. But like, that's fucking exhausting. I can't live like that. It's not my job.
I'm gaining nothing. I'm exhausted. And I'm supposed to change the world one white person's opinion at a time. Get out of here. Get out of here. My ancestors would roll around in their grave knowing that I was wasting all of my energy trying to save y'all. No, not doing it. I'm not doing it.
If don't nobody else get it, I get it. That's why we over here looking like they deserve. I'll pop off. I'm not saying I won't pop off, but I'm not. It's not my job to teach you.
I'm gonna pop off. I'm not waiting for a response
because I have the right to react. I feel like too often do they police like how our reactions are and like our outrage. I don't have to do that with you. If you do something disrespectful, if it's an outrageous situation, you're gonna get an outrageous response.
Yes, you do not get to be ridiculous to me and be mad when I'm ridiculous right the fuck back, because my ridiculous is gonna hit a lot harder because I'm a lot more pointed. Your ridiculous has no bounds. It has no direction. Mine is right the fuck at you.
And it's got the force of 1,000 slaves.
Thank you. I could not.
That's the gospel.
Listen, I'm
talking about dating any other race. It's sometimes dating any other culture, like within like our diaspora, is still a work. Just explaining yourself, which is why I get into like phases where I'm just like, I don't have the energy to date, and I have to respect that in myself, because I'm like, I don't have the energy to explain things that I don't feel like explaining. I also have to just like somebody to do is like it's fueled by love.
I don't really see myself liking. I'm so tired right now with just the circumstances of the world that I don't see myself having that much energy ever again. I can't see it.
And that's totally fine. You don't owe it to nobody. um, outside of having to do the work with like dating other Black girls there, and they were basically telling me their experiences. And there was just this one girl, which I just can't remember her name right now, but she's telling me how like she's working through, and it was honestly within that conversation that she realized what she was doing, feeling obligated to basically teach white people how to treat Black people because her experience going there was so bad. That brunch quickly became me explaining, because they were talking about like just different dynamics like that, like even with like within study groups, because like a lot of surviving in classroom classes that are hard is having connections. They're like, well, sometimes we're not invited to the study groups, but sometimes they meet all the time. And so they're like, and so sometimes it is teaching them how to, I'm like, no. And I know like there's compromises, but that's not my compromise, because I'm like, how many of y'all are in therapy? Only one girl wasn't in therapy, and it was the girl who was caught picking me, and we literally were like, you should go to therapy after that. But because I don't get tried like that.
We 100% have that energy though, because I walk in the room with a hard gaze, and it's annoying that I have to do that, and I wonder at what age that happened where I realized if I carry myself like this, like with a really hard exterior, that people won't try me in those ways.
13.
I really wonder, like, I don't know. I think it was probably high school for me, because like that's when I started going to school with white people, with white teachers, and people was like trying me at first, and so I was like, oh, so I gotta act like this, and then I stopped getting tried out loud. Then it was like I only had to deal with microaggressions, and that was like at least a blessing a little bit. But like,
my friend slapped the shit out of this dude who used to say, because I remember in middle school they used to say like go back to Africa and shit like that. And in elementary school, because I started going to white schools in the 4th grade, it used to just make me sad because I was also learning about like slavery, like that. It was becoming super real to me. And I was responding how I should have been because it was a sad thing. And so I felt like in middle school I still was sensitive to it, but I was hardening up because at this point I was just angry. And so especially if you actively have white people telling you to go back to Africa at that age, telling me that I was too aggressive, when like I'm a sensitive person. And even as a child,
and you're not even aggressive.
I'm not aggressive. So having them telling me that I'm aggressive or just asking me dumbass questions about Detroit, like the bars on my windows and shit like that. I didn't have no bars on my windows. Just dumb stuff.
It's that, like, stuff like that frustrates me, because it's like, so there are so many people out there who didn't have to harden themselves and didn't have to become this person who had to be like this with everybody. And that's such a free existence. Like, I wonder what that is. That must be nice. And but the thing is, not for Black people. That's not nice for Black people, because that means like
I was just like, nah, that's kind of weak. I literally was thinking that in my head. That's weak.
It's weak because we know they're getting run over and they don't know it, or they refuse to acknowledge it. But there are different types of people, different races of people, different genders who can be soft and can be more gentle and can be soft spoken and can be oblivious, and it's not the worst thing. It's not a character flaw. It's
I
not.
feel like the biggest balance in my life, right, like as of late, has been balancing how to be soft but still be strong enough to not be tried. Because I told you about, even at the same school, as how this girl who I did an internship with basically tried me in that sense of calling me aggressive, saying that she was afraid of me and all that. That really hurt my feelings, and I was just like, and so it's a balance, because it's not my fault how other people respond to me. She was gonna find me intimidating regardless. And a lot of people say I'm intimidating. I'm not. I hang out with people who are intimidating.
I remember the first time somebody said it to my face, and this was honestly when I was like still not as intimidating as I am right now. I was angrier. I was an angrier person, but I wasn't as,
for good reason. Probably.
Right, yeah, it was, listen, all white high school. Like, this was senior year, and so the girl who I was roommates with freshman year, at UBI.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I don't want to say her name, but so this was in high school. This was like senior year, me and her, or is that junior year? Junior year, me and her got close, and I kind of got close with her friend group, and like we'll hang out with them sometimes. But there was this white girl in her friend group that would just say and do stuff that I was just like, even to her.
To be okay with it. It's not
And so like I would be like, yo, like they're walking over you, and I would just be like really harsh about that. Like, I can't believe you're letting them. And then like I remember senior year, she just was like, you're just so mean, and just made me seem like I was this aggressive. And I'm like sitting there like, I'm sitting here trying to defend you, trying to make you realize that you don't deserve to let anybody treat you this way, especially them, and I'm the villain. That was the last time I like was really out here trying to save these hoes. Captain Save a Hoe. I'm not doing it no more. They don't want to be saved.
It's not your obligation. You don't have to. And to be quite honest, it's not my job to tell other Black people that it's not their job. I'm not doing that for the next 5 years.
You had a white mom. And so I was like, nobody's ever told.
I know. But I think that just clicked in my head.
I'm like, man, somebody has to tell her. But what was even listen, I just remove myself out of situations. Like when people are like, you really don't mess with nobody, I'm like, I know how this is gonna go. Like I can look at a situation, look at a group of people, look at a group of friends, and a lot of people would say that's assumption. I'm like, I'm really saving myself a lot of frustration.
Other area of your life, except for like our relationships with other people, for some reason we're allowed to detect the danger to ourselves and avoid it for the rest of our life. When it comes to romantic and platonic, just any type of relationship, we're expected to just, and like part of me is like, it feels better to know how to get over stuff, but like don't make it seem as simple as dusting off and turning the other cheek and being okay. It's not normal. This is something we do because we're in this society, we're a species that need each other, cohabitative, whatever, I don't remember the words, but like this isn't normal.
And where people make you feel bad for choosing yourself, that's literally it.
That's not normal.
And that's
not okay.
Especially as a woman, you're never supposed to choose yourself ever. You're always supposed to choose your family, your friends, a relationship, then your kids. So now when you're choosing yourself, the only word they can use for you is selfish, is aggressive, is angry. And so yeah, there's so much more I could go into this about why Black.
It's an essay. It's a stink piece.
Always have to. It's a TED Talk. While Black women like have been tried to forced into this burden of carrying the world, forced into this role that they don't even want us to really have. They don't want to give us any of the credit for us. They just want us to take the brunt. They want us to be the mules, the donkeys of society, doing all of the work. And I'm not. I
don't have to. It's not my job to fix everybody's wrongs. I had to learn. I had to find balance by myself. And I'm an only child at that. So I'm just like, y'all really need to get y'all shit together. I could look at other people and be like, y'all need to get y'all shit together.
Like my aunt, like learning how to just say no and feeling
I do give people room to grow.
I don't. I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah, go. My room, you can have all the room in the world. Just give me mine.
This is not my job. I don't like, and I know it saves me so much heartache because like it was a big reason why I wanted to go to a HBCU. It's just not my job. I did that in high school. It was exhausting. It was traumatic in a way that like I didn't even understand how bad like shit become, because I processed my emotions so late. It be coming back years later. That was something that I did not know would come years later to like bite me in the butt. So,
and it's interesting, like a lot of people's thing about being against HBCUs is like they're like, that's not how the world works.
I forget people are against HBCUs.
A lot of people.
I know.
You're like, what? But like they're like, that's not the real world. That's not how the world works. And I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Going to a safe space in our formative years.
Why?
They hate that word though. They hate that word, safe spaces. They hate that word.
And they hate formative years when used for Black people because they're like, form? You need space to grow. Like, think about how early they decide we're adults. They're basically like, you still have room for personal and emotional and mental growth. But like, just like, why is it that It's not the real, y'all schools aren't the real worlds either. There aren't any people who look like me, but I'm supposed to suffer through that. I'm supposed to brunt the burden of that as well. It's only not a real world when it doesn't look like how they want the world to look. That's it. Because imagine how angry Karen gets to call manager whenever anybody does anything wrong. But the moment Molly is calling out something that actually happened,
Exactly.
It's you're overreacting. And she
It's
just
that's why I'm really happy that it came up, because I was thinking that, to be quite honest. Just with her, I be feeling the same energy. It sounds weird. I be feeling the same energy with even people in my own race, like just dealing with niggas, because you never know what type of nigga you're gonna end up with, and that's why I'm not, because anytime you're bonding with another person, it is energy going into those types of conversations, because you just want to be ahead of it before you officially like latch onto each other. So like, or dive deeper. And so I knew it was going to come up in their relationship. So I was happy we got to see it. I don't really need to see the deeper conversation of it, but I needed to know that it happened, because it's not realistic for us to think that we can bond with anybody, to be quite honest. Bond with Black men, bond with men outside of our races, without having these real conversations, because this is our real life.
Basically, I'm glad
It was on topic.
I'm glad Molly's going back to therapy. It's much needed. I don't think I could have dealt with another.
I thought we were talking about Insecure.
I don't think I could have dealt with another conversation between her and Issa when she's not in therapy. Question: why do we push therapy so much on her and not Issa?
I want Issa to go to therapy too.
I know, so do I, but I never catch
myself. Just don't like Molly. Molly's not likable.
That's it. That's it.
Cause like even when I've been hearing other people talk about the show, they'd be like, "Cause Molly really trying it." We don't like.
Nobody blames Issa. Is that like? I'm really confused. Nobody's blaming Issa, but
The general public loves Issa.
But she is just as.
Honestly, to just get people on your side, you just have to tell more of your side of the story. So